today to our third session in aircraft maintenance engineering. Today we're going to be looking on how to have a procure view on how to differentiate in between the Boeing family and the Airbus family. So we're going to be talking about how to differentiate between the Airbus 320 and the Boeing 737. So from the visual, if you're standing in the airport, right, and then you visualize an aircraft, it's landing or it's on ground service, and you need to know whether that's an Airbus or that's a Boeing. So here's the first hint. Always Boeing, you will find they will have a black spot onto their nose, while you will find the Airbus, it's being transparent, right? So it is a round circular nose without any color set onto it, just a white transparent. The other thing we need to undertake is that how as well to look onto the winglets, right? So a winglets or the sharklets, right? Winglets, it is used in the Boeing, right, and the sharklets is used into the Airbus. So winglets, it's basically that's the area where it's located, where you find it in the Airbus, right? It is being in a small in diameter, right, as compared to the Boeing, which is bigger in diameter. Winglets or sharklets, they have the same functionality, whether in Airbus or in Boeing. They both are used for reducing the drag and increasing the efficiency use of the fuel. So let's take a look, right? So when an aircraft it takes off, so we have the air distribution on the above the wing, it's being low compared to the air distribution at the below side, right? It's being high because that will generate the lift. At the point when the aircraft is being cruising, right, and it comes to a statuous point, right, so the air distribution will be moving both sides upper and lower until they come till the end of the vortex, right? That's at the leading edge, right? So at that time, right, where we need to reduce the drag, right, so that we consume in the fuel, right, and we're using, for example, if the drag is high, right, so I will need more fuel to be utilized, to be used so that the aircraft moves, because the drag slows down the aircraft, right? So similarly right here, when you look onto so in the Airbus we have what we call the sharklets, right, what looks that way, right, and it is the space in between, right, the two edges, right, and it can be seen here as well in the Boeing aircraft. You will find that the winglets in the Boeing, while the sharklets in the Airbus, you'll find the diameter in the Boeing, it's more larger than the one in the Airbus. Okay. The third part, if you look onto the engine in the Boeing, you will find there's a concave shape. It's like an edge as if it's being pumped, right? While in the Airbus, it looks circular. The other dimension, you will find that the Boeing, the engine is almost near the ground, right? And the reason they make it that shape, right, so in a concaval shape, so that it can take as a transmitting of any hits or any pumps from the ground, right? It can protect it. But at the Airbus, you will find it's at the higher bit compared to the Boeing. Okay. Now, if you look at another image, the shape of the Boeing engine, right, it is being more larger than compared to the Airbus. When it comes inside the cockpit, right, you will find that always the Airbus cockpit is more larger in diameter, right, than compared to the Boeing. The other thing is that when it comes to the yoke, which you are able to connect it to the rudder to move the aircraft left and right, you will find the yoke, it's like a stick, right? It is a stick in front, and the pilot has to keep on forward for pushing it for landing and backwards for taking off. But when you look at the Airbus, you will find a side yoke, right? It's like a gear, right? And he can start maneuvering the aircraft, whether to lower front so down to in order to land, backwards to take off, left and right, so we have the yoke on the side. The other thing is that in the Airbus we have a side table where the pilot and the co-pilot, they're able to sit and decompose their papers or books, right, in order to make their calculations for of an angle attack when they are okay of taking off or landing compared to the ECAM or ECAS of the computer, right, to make sure that their calculations are being accurate as the computer being stated, right. The other thing, if you look onto the Boeing, you will find that the window shield, right, in the cockpit area, it's a rectangular shape, while the other one looks like as if it's a trapezoid, right, stomach shape in the Airbus. Similarly, when on the passenger seats, you will find that in the Boeing, the window, it looks like a V shape, right, and while in the Airbus, it's like a round shape, okay, circular shape, where when you're sitting in the Boeing, you need to raise up your head so you're able to look over, but in the Airbus, it will be clear and sharp edge, you'll be able to look out of the window. So hopefully those are the differences that you can have to visualize in between, knowing whether that's an Airbus aircraft or it's a Boeing aircraft. So remember, in the nose, we have a circular, right, a black circle in the nose, that's a Boeing, while the Airbus, it's a transparent white color and doesn't have any color onto the nose. Second thing is that the cockpit, right, at the Airbus, it's more bigger than compared to the Boeing. Thirdly, you will find the window looks like a trapezoid shape, right, that's an Airbus, while the rectangular shape, that's the Boeing. The engine, you'll find it that it is a concavular shape, that's a Boeing, and it's lower on the ground compared to the Airbus, which is being circular, and in the Boeing, it's more bigger than the Airbus, right? So those are the, apart from the, as well, the winglets and the shocklets, the winglets is being used into the, in the Boeing, while the shocklets is being used into the, in the wing tips of an Airbus, but they're both are, there could be all the difference in the diameters, okay, in between them, but the cut in which they have could be different. In the Airbus, it's smaller in diameter compared to the Boeing, but they have the same functionality in which they need to have a utilization of the fuel and to reduce the drag, which it slows down the aircraft performance. So remember that at least we'll have a consumption of 5% of the fuel. That's around 15 to 33% cut in the fuel. Hope this session of great well to your side, and hope to be doing other sessions, right, and to be talking more topics about interesting topics in aircraft engineering and maintenance. This is Muhammad Ahmed Zaki, Aeronautical Engineering. Thank you very much for your time and wish you a good day.